session is being delivered by HSI Level 2 coach, judge, and also somebody who has won on numerous occasions the racehorse to riding horse class at the RDS. And that is here in front of you now, Joanne Quirke. And Joanne rides Chris's Dream, who is new to Joanne, so this is basically his first public outing since he retired. He is a 12-year-old, trained by Henry de Bromhead for Rob Core. He ran 23 times. He ran from 2016 to April 2023. He won 4 chases, 2 hurls and 3-point points. And he's a graded winner over hurls and racing. Over hurls and fences, I should say. Behind Joanne, we have Emma Conley. And Emma Conley is, as a lot of you may know, the head travelling lady for Noel Mead. And she rides Snow Falcon. Snow Falcon is a 14-year-old, was trained by Noel Mead for Patricia Hunt, ran 57 times with 12 wins, 10 seconds and 8 thirds. He raced from 2014 to 2022, 4 grade 2s in total, including the Kerry National in 2018. And Emma headed for the RDS last year, having taken up showing for the racehorse to riding horse class. Behind Emma, we have Katrina Bulger, and Katrina rides Feel My Pulse. Katrina's barn manager with Gordon Elliott, and Feel My Pulse was trained by Gordon. Now, the interesting thing about Feel My Pulse, and it just shows the variety of horses we have, is that he won his only outing, which was in a point-to-point in 2018 by 15 lengths. And unfortunately, he got himself a little bit of a leg injury and then raced no more. So Katrina has taken him over and had a great time showing him. Following on, inside saddle, we have a race instructor, Stephanie McGlynn, and Stephanie rides Mika Wallace. And again, just showing the variety of horses. Mika Wallace is only 6. Stephanie took him on about 2 years ago. He ran 5 times on the flat, and it wasn't his career, but he has shown an amazing career now that he has transitioned across. He has won it at a 5-year-old. He was 3rd in the race ITM racehorse to riding horse class at the RDS. He has never come home without a rosette from a showing outing. He's an elementary dressage winner. He was on Team Randox that were 3rd at the Troella Showing Classic in 2023. He's been clear around open hunter trials, and only last week at Show of the East he won the large riding horse, the racehorse to riding horse class, and was 3rd in the side saddle. And then we have Aplutar. So Aplutar, this is his 2nd outing for international dressage rider Emily Kate Robinson. Emily Kate did ride him when he was in training with Henry de Bromhead, and you will know that he is a Gold Cup winner. He raced from October 2017 to December 2023, so he's literally just off the track. And Emily Kate brought him to his first show last week at Show of the East, where he was placed. So again, a great career ahead of him. And I will hand you over to Joanne now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second session here this afternoon, which is our showing session. So Anne very kindly introduced everyone here to you. So as she said, I'm here on, this is Chris's Dream. So I have him about 7 weeks, and this is our first ever outing away from our own yard at home. So it's a big ask for him. So you are seeing warts and all. You'll clearly see he is, obviously quite lean from being out of training. So the first thing we did was I got his teeth done, I got his back checked, and I kindly followed a nutritional plan from Red Mills to bulk him up. You can kind of see he still has a little bit of rain skull on his back from being out. So we're baby oiling and hippie scrubbing, and that's almost gone. So basically, I wasn't afraid to come out here today. I know the girls here are kind of on, they've been out a little while, because I'm sure some of us at home have a thoroughbred there, and you think, oh God, I'm not ready to go out. And yet today is not, I'm far from the finished article, but it's to get your thoroughbred out and to get them exposed to little sights and sounds and see things, and his eyes are on stalks, but hopefully by the end of it, the two of us will come away having had a lovely day. So the transition, I suppose, from being a racehorse to a riding horse is, as Sam Watson has said, and I've heard it a few times the last few weeks, is basically transitioning from being one athlete to being another athlete. So I have found personally with the showing over the last couple of years, I've been very lucky to have a few nice horses, and I find them such incredible animals. They're so versatile, they take to it, and they love a new career and a new job. So starting them off, even things like standing them, getting them to stand for the judge, getting them to walk around here today. And I always say, a lot of people before they go into their showing class, they all walk around, and what do you do before a race? You walk them around the pre-parade ring. The jockeys hop up, and what do they do then? They hit the track and they go as fast as they can. So we're training them to walk around here now and hopefully pick up a nice trot shortly and not be too explosive. So there's a lot of transitioning for them to adapt to a totally new way of life. So in a showing class, Throwell have a series now they're going to be launching at the weekend, and there's 8 shows coming up throughout the summer, and they've split them into novice and open classes. So a novice, I am kind of dressed correctly attired for a novice class, so bar the neck strap, I thought I'd bring that today for a safety device just in case I should need it. So don't ever be afraid to put one on if you have a thoroughbred at home and you want to bring him out. So he is in, as you can see, kind of a Cavison noseband, and he's in a loose ring. It's actually just a little copper sweet iron bit that he seems to like. He's still quite, I would say, a little bit gobby in his mouth. He's had his teeth done, so I know there's no issues there. But it's just for him to be accepting a different contact and a different type of riding. I have my show saddle on. It allows me to get my leg onto him lower, and I can wrap it around him. Again, another thing that's totally alien to him. Good lad. He's not used to, jockeys would have their stirrups up good and short, we all know that. So again, it's getting him to adapt to me putting my legs wrapped around him. In regards to a hat, again, I have a harnessed hat on today. You can wear your harnessed hat or a paty hat, they're the strapless ones. It's a shirt and tie and a tweed jacket, foam breeches, and your boots and show cane it's optional. It's kind of correct hunting attire. Emma has dressed herself today in the tie that was his racing colours, so people match them up. You'll see Emily Kate has a coloured brow band, so that is also kind of a correct attire. So they're in the showing classes, they call them riding horses, so a riding horse can wear a coloured brow band. So that is the difference there. So again, kind of correct attire. I don't mean to be drawing attention to poor Stephanie right now. But Stephanie is in her traditional hunting attire. So her black habit, it's called a silk hat, not a top hat, because top hats are for men, silk hats are for women. And that is kind of the correct size. So it's supposed to be 4.75 centimeters tall and no bigger than 5.2 centimeters tall to be correct etiquette. A black habit, Stephanie will laugh at this too, so again, going back to your hunting tradition is where it all started back out all those years ago. A navy habit was worn if you were single and you were looking for a man. A black habit was worn if you were married, and you wore black gloves if you were in mourning. So, Stephanie, I'm not sure your relationship status, so anyway, there's a little bit of history there for you. So in our showing classes, you always start on the right rein, and it gives a judge. So I'm lucky enough to have kind of been poacher and gamekeeper. I have ridden in plenty of thoroughbred classes, but I've also judged plenty of thoroughbred classes. So a judge will usually pick one side. So you, the audience, can be the judge today, if you like, and you'll kind of see plenty. So when you come in, I would always say, go find her a little bit of space and get out. Always kind of look at what's in front of you, never worry about who's gone sideways or backways or whatever way behind you, because you can't control that. but you can kind of control who's in front of you by steering away from them or getting out of them. So going into a ring and finding your own space. So as I say, starting on that right rein. Now poor Stephanie, inside saddle, trotting is probably the worst gait because you're sitting sideways trotting for so long. And especially with the thoroughbreds, I find they're not, their backs, even though what age, I can't remember, she thinks she's only 6, their backs, they really say not to put a side saddle on a horse until they're about 4 or 5, until their backs are more developed. So the thoroughbreds, they're always building that top line. So for a side saddle on a thoroughbred, I think initially in the first year is still quite a lot of work for them. So we won't do too much trotting. But in the showing class, so as I say, we start off on the right rein, and the judge will get you to walk, trot, canter on the right rein. They will get you to change your rein, pick up a left rein canter, and that's where you show the best bit of it, you show your extension. So the judge is not out looking for a flat-out gallop, but they are looking for the ability for you to be able to extend and then have the brakes and come back. In a novice class, a judge doesn't ride them, so you'll be asked to do a short individual show, which will consist of a walk, trot, canter, and then you are lined up and given hopefully a nice rosette of your colour. In an open class, a judge will line you up again in order of preference, and the judge will ride. They will have a confirmation judge there as well. So once the judge has ridden your horse, you'll be asked to strip your horse for the confirmation and do a short walk up and trot back. Then once your confirmation judge and your ridden judge have conferred, they will give the rosettes then out in that order. And then you do a nice lap of honour. So that's the difference between your open and your novice racehorse classes. So we might just have a little trot around here. So Emma on Snow Falcon's going to lead the charge. So this is usually when the fun starts in a class, when they ask them all to trot on. So again, you as the judges down the far end, this is when, as a judge, you're kind of picking, well, how are they going in that trot? So as a novice, I will forgive, the first lap or two, let them kind of get settled in. And as I can even feel here, Chris's knees are coming up to under his chin and his hocks are right in underneath him. So I'm feeling them quite, tense and excited. But he's been really good boy. And he's settling in there nicely for me. Stephanie's okay there, are you, Stephanie? Stephanie, you can stand in there if you want. Have a little breather. Getting them out to shows is a real stepping stone for me. Snow Falcon is having a little look at his surroundings. Myself and Emma were laughing on the way up that Chris beat Snow Falcon actually. One day finished him into third, so hopefully we'll have a bit of crack over the summer, the pair of us, in our shows, and we'll see who can beat each other. But that's what it's about having a little bit of fun. But as I was saying, the showing series is a great pathway, and it's a great stepping stone to getting them out and about. And I found, especially with the showing last year, so many of them all came out at the end of the summer and they were jumping, and it's great to see Sizing John, having won at the Dublin Horse Show last year, going on to compete in the stepping stones this year. So it's a real stepping stone, but it just goes to show, guys, we'll just change the rein there. It just goes to show how much work has to go into them. And as I say, it's retraining them from being one athlete to being another. Good boy, Chris. So I'm really happy here with how Chris is coping with all this and how he's adapting to it. Good boy. So as you can all see, he's slightly looking to the right, so I'm going to work over the summer on his straightness. And good boy. And I think the straighter I can get him, the easier my life will be. Good boy. So, big man. Good boy. So again, even the showing, I suppose, is a little bit more different. Emily Kate has been doing her dressage and things. getting them out of, I suppose, that 20 by 40 into a much bigger arena. All these shows are usually held at agricultural shows. So they are in a big grass field. And again, some of these horses go back to their point-to-point days. And they think it's great fun and excitement at the shows. Good boy. So not only, if you go to a show, don't be thinking, oh, I'm only confined to going in a racehorse class. There are loads of different classes for them. So I would consider for Emily Kate's horse probably more a riding horse class. And for a riding horse, as you can see, he's got a slightly more daisy cut movement. So a riding horse is again, traditionally a horse that would have sort of a minimum of 8 inches of bone, which is measured from below the knee, and they would be quite fine. So again, a little bit of a history lesson for you. So going back, how it all started, all the different types of showing classes. Back in the Victorian days, the men and the suitors used to try and find a nice posh horse, which were primarily thoroughbred horses, so that they could go out and follow the women and escort the women in style. And those horses were, as they call, riding horses or hacks. We don't have really too many hacks in Ireland, but they'd be quite a common class in England. You can also compete in a lightweight hunter class. So I would consider Chris, I would consider Katrina's horse a lightweight hunter. So they are supposed to have 8.5 inches of bone, again measured below the knee, and they are designed to carry a person of up to 12 stone. So a middleweight hunter is a horse that is designed to carry up to 14 stone of a passenger and would have like 8.75 inches of bone. So the thoroughbred is such a versatile animal, so not only in showing.
Just to interrupt, Joanne, can you tell us how you pick your horses for showing? You know, how you decide whether the horse would be suited for this kind of career rather than going jumping or dressage or...
I find temperament is the first thing for anything, no matter where you're going to go. If you're going to go jumping or you're going to go showing, you need the temperament. And especially for showing, you need one that's going to, work with you, not against you. Some of them, you can see, they have a forward-going temperament. They just want to go. They're quite busy in their minds. It's gas because sometimes the flat horses, who are designed literally to go as quick as they can from A to B, usually adapt very well to being show horse. They're, they seem to like that slower way of life. It was Robert Power that actually rang me up about Chris, and he rang me up before about another horse, and I was actually pregnant at the time and I missed it, and Robert wouldn't ring me too often, and when he rang me and he said Chris was looking for a new home to be retrained, I said, well, Robert, if you're sending him to me, I'll listen to you. So, Robert's long enough in the game, he's looking at thoroughbreds every day of the week. So obviously, Chris is going to change, I hope, throughout the summer. He's going to build, I think this whole back end all has to come. As I say, he has that jumper's bum. I'm going to do lots of exercise, lots of transitions, lots of flat work, lots of pole work. That is my plan for the summer.
So I was going to say, how are you feeling about him now? You think he'll be well suited physically and mentally?
I'm delighted with how he's sitting here now and he's coping. He's not gone side to side. I said I literally have him 7 weeks. The first couple of weeks I actually literally just had him on the lunge and was building him up. But I kind of knew from pretty much, I arrived home and Robert had him dropped in the yard, and I arrived home that day and I went in to see him, and I just knew straight away by his temperament. He came straight to the door. He whinnies when he sees a head collar. He's got a right personality to him. He came in the travel in the box. I didn't know what way he was going to go. I had to see what way he'd go in the lorry. He travelled. There wasn't boo out of him. He had his 2 buddies with him. So yeah, I'm hoping for the summer now we're going to follow those the Throwella Pathway series of those 8 shows and try and pick 1 or 2 and qualify for the final in September. My main goal for this summer is the Dublin Horse Show. I think, like all of us, it is our Gold Cup. It is our big day out for the showing world. That's kind of where you want to go. And I've had great family days there. My sister's not into the horses. My brothers play rugby, and they all come to the Dublin Horse Show. So for me, it's kind of where I want to get this summer, and that's my goal with him. So.
Brilliant. And just one of the things that I've noticed while you're going around there is your bits are different. You're in a snaffle, Katrina's in a double rein, Emma's in a wilkie.
Yeah.
Will you aim to keep him in a snaffle, or what way do you progress? When do you look at that kind of situation?
When he is happy in his contact. So I start them all in loose string snaffles. Snowball's in the wilkie, which is in the, I suppose, the snaffle family. All the horses coming off, they're not used to having that contact, right? So you're picking them up and you're asking them to work from behind up nicely and softly into the bridle. So I start them all off in a nice snaffle. The novice horses, as I said earlier, are allowed go in snaffle bridles, so it just gives the horses a chance to get out, get comfortable, and when he accepts the contact, which mightn't be till next year, it could, it's going to be a little while, you never rush them. Then they go into what Katrina is in up there. So she's in, I think is that a rugby pedal, Katrina? So it's one bit in his mouth, which I find some of them, again, they don't like too many bits in their mouth. So that's a rubber rugby. So it's just one bit, and then she's the 2 reins onto it. Again, so for a little bit more pull pressure. So the open horses, when they've come out of it and they're going forward into a nice soft contact, and they have a stable contact, yeah, they can go into the double bridles.
So I'm not really that big into showing myself. I guess I'm just not very suited to it. What is it that appeals to you? Why do you enjoy it so much, Joanne? Because you've had so much success in the show ring.
I enjoy, for me, it's kind of getting them out of, any horse I've had previously. They've been national hunt horses primarily, and it's getting them out into a mixed environment, riding them, and getting them riding so well in the flat. I remember the first horse that I kind of was really went showing with, I spent 3 months just walking and trotting because he wasn't ready to go into canter yet. Even Chris, I had a canter at Chris at home, and he gave it plenty of booking, so we can have a little canter now today and see how he goes. Good boy.
So guys, if any of you want to pull in and have a break, I'll ask you a few questions. And if some of you want to go to a canter and want to pull in, work away, and I'll keep you under pressure, don't worry.
Do we want to practice a little show?
I think that would be cool. Just
Yeah.
talk about what we do in particular with our show series, and the fact that we have a novice and an open, and,
Yeah.
and both classes have very different requirements, really, Joanne, don't they?
Yeah. So as I said, the novice class will be asked to do an individual showpiece. So what we might do is line up, and I don't mind doing a showpiece. Earlier, Katrina, have you got a showpiece up your sleeve?
She looks like she does.
So having, I suppose, come up through the Novice League last year, as I say, it's a short individual show. So basically, it's the first chance the judge has a chance to look at you individually on your own, away from the rest of the horses. So you're going to go, you'll stand up in front of them.
Shall we get Anne and Melanie to be our judges?
I think, yeah, absolutely. Guys, do we want to come in and try a stand? So again, this is all part of, like, I know it sounds silly, but I do practice standing. I'd go in at home into the middle of the arena and I would stand. And it's literally to get them to practice standing. And I know it sounds very foolish. Chris's eyes are on
Joanne,
stuff.
these horses are not ever taught to stand, really, are
No,
they?
absolutely not. And again, likewise, not to anyone to
go.
get a kick.
Best friends.
So this is his buddy. Snow Falcon is his buddy at home.
Do you want to just maybe chat us through what Katrina's going to do there? And Anne and Melanie,
do you want to come and do a little show?
Be harsh critics now. Pretend you're in
Do you want to do
Dublin.
a short show? Yeah, do we go and start? So basically, they will pull you out of the lineup. So we'll pretend that Kat was called in first. So usually they come, Kat, you'll come and just stand in front of the judge initially. I'm going to bring her back to walk. Can you hear me? Yep. So Anne is going to be our nice judge here today. There she is in the middle. There's Anne. So you would come out of the lineup and you literally stand in front of the judge, as I say, facing down the lineup to the Troella sign. So facing down the way, Kat. Yeah. And again, so this is Anne's first chance, effectively, to look at the horse. Has the horse, blemishes don't get taken into account, but is there any confirmation flaws she's looking at? Sorry, I don't want to get a kick here.
So this is, if I can remember correctly, this was quite an expensive point-to-pointer cat, wasn't he? Just a few pound. If I can remember, was he 400,000? So he's extremely good looking. Bob Ollinger's brother. Geez, I thought Bob nearly got up the other day. You could have got a big pedigree update. Anyway, sorry, I'll shut up now.
Yeah. So Cat has stood in front of the judge. Again, he's standing, he's there, he's quite mannerly, right? So that is a big tick in the whole retraining process. So Cat's going to head towards the throw Ella sign. So Anne, the judge, would kind of be looking at the confirmation walking away. Again, her first chance to have a look. So again, it's not that, it's the overall confirmation. As I said, the blemishes, the racing injuries, they don't come into account. They're going to expect there's a few war wounds. But if you do come into a proper riding horse class or a lightweight hunter class, then these will come in. So Cat should have tracked right there. The other right. And then pick up a trot. Good boy. So to do a nice trot along the long side. Good boy. Good boy. And then change the rein across the diagonal in the trot. So again, this is just looking for the smoothness of paces. How are they adapting to it? Is he tracking up? And then Cat's going to pick up a left rein canter now. Good. And it's a nice smooth canter. And change your rein. Good boy, man. And show a couple of trot strides. And then pick up a right rein canter.
So, Joanne, Cat would probably be moving up this year. So,
yep.
The judges will be required to ride Feel My Pulse, won't they? What will they be looking for when they sit on him?
So, with my judging hat on, when I'm standing there and I'm watching them go around, I kind of do the process of which one would I like to get up on the best. Yeah, would I like to get up on him? Yeah, I would. Why? Because look at him. He looks so smooth. He's not pulling her. His ears are pricked. He's enjoying his job. He's happy in his contact. He's done a little extension there, and he's come back really mannerly. And I know he did a little strike off here on the wrong leg. Cat had it corrected in 2 strides. So at the end of the day, as a judge, you would compare like for like. Was the second one any better than that? What did the second one do? And then Cat would go back forward into a walk. So in the downward transitions, I always like to see sort of canter about 20 strides of trot and about 10 strides of walk. And that's to show the proper downward transitions of the horse. So you can see the walk again after the trot, and you can see the trot again after the canter, if you get me. And then she's going to halt, immobility, salute, and then walk to the back of the lineup on a nice long rein. Yeah. So to me, that was a lovely show. Well, I'm going to do a show on Chris, and you will see a real novice. He's, as I say, he hasn't a clue what he's doing. I haven't practiced the show yet. We haven't got that far in our retraining. We'll see how the canter goes. But hopefully, as I say, throughout the year, it's going to progress and it's going to get better and better. So for my aim, for my first show, I won't really bring Chris out until I feel he's ready. But I'd like him to stand in front of Anne for at least 10 seconds without kicking the judge. So we're not going to stand. So as I say, that's my practice at home. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So I don't mind him having a look at a few things. Good boy. Good lad. Steady. Good boy. He's just after a big puff there, so he's kind of taking all this in. So here's our canter, warts and all. Oh, what a big man. Good lad. So I'm just going to do a circle just to teach him. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And then pick up our trot. Steady, steady. Good boy. So he's listening to me, so I'm really happy with that. And we'll put him into our corner. Good boy. Good lad. So in a novice class, steady, good lad. Keep it, good boy. Steady. So you can see the difference. His stride is just long and rangy versus cat. And whoa, whoa. Good boy. Good lad. Good lad. And whoa. As I say, do my 10 strides a trot, or 20 strides a trot and 10 strides a walk. Ideally, I should be halting back there, but I slightly missed the runway. Oh, lad. Oh. Good boy. Steady. Good boy. Good lad. So I'm really happy with that. Good boy. He's listening to me. But as you can see, so that's the difference between a novice, good boy, and Cat, who's been out there, or else we go into a different league with Sizing John, who's just... So Emily's, showed me up. He's only in retraining 5 weeks. So again, Emily Kate would be doing a novice class. I think, Emily, did you ride him in Henry's as well? Yeah. So it's amazing to see the horses that have done that little bit of homework in the trainer's yard, how it really stands to them. And even though I think Chris came out of the same yard, as I laughed yesterday, I said he must have been sick those days, he missed the old lessons. So it's amazing to see how they all adapt. Good lad. So this is really fluid. And to me, if I was going to a show and there was a race at the novice class as well, I'd be putting him in a riding horse class as well. He's dainty, he's under 16.2, he moves really well, he's pretty, and extremely mannerly, which the riding horses have to be. Good lad. A lovely canter transition there. Super.
So, Joanne, one of the things that I've noticed, and maybe ask a stupid question, why do some of them have plain brow bands and some of them have the glitzy? What's the requirement for racehorse classes, or where does that fit in?
Yeah, I was just saying that earlier on when I came in. So hunter classes are this, so what I'm wearing and what Emma's wearing are hunter attire, so which is the plain brow bands, plain tack. It's your going back again to tradition on the hunting field. So a lot of what we see in the showing world comes from the hunting field for both the ridden classes and even for the side saddle classes. So the different types of horses, so a riding horse, as I said, which is Emily Kate's type of riding horse, they have to wear a coloured brow band. So if your horse, as I was saying, is kind of up to 8 inches of bone, under 16.2, would be quite fine boned, wouldn't have as much knee action, that is a riding horse. So correct etiquette for that. That is what you are presenting it in the racehorse riding horse class, so therefore the coloured brow band.
Sorry, I didn't know that because I know nothing about showing. But I think Steph is going to talk us a bit more about the side saddle. Or Joanne, sorry, I missed earlier,
yeah,
so
again,
I hope you're not repeating yourself too much. But this is really interesting to me.
So side saddle goes way back to the Stone Age, right? There's actually pictures on walls and whatever they had. They used to basically the men used to put their women literally sitting sideways on whatever animal it was, donkey or horse or whatever. And over the years it progressed, and then when we kind of got the Victorian era, pardon me, whoops, big man, the ladies wanted to basically keep up with the men, so there was a saddle invented in the early 1900s, which allowed a lady to sit correctly in the saddle, and it was the first time a stirrup was introduced to the saddle, whereas before they literally just used to put the ladies sat sideways. So a stirrup was introduced in the early 1900s, and this would be typical hunting attire, as I said earlier on. So she technically shouldn't have a coloured brow band on. It should be a plain hunter brow band, but I know Stephanie does the riding horse classes as well. There's no jewellery allowed, no earrings. You're supposed to have a small little bit of makeup to impress the men. Again, it all goes back to the history books, I'm not making this up. This is kind of going back to how it all started off. So you were supposed to have a little shimmer of pink on your cheeks, no red lipsticks, no earrings, because that showed that you had a little bit of wealth. So
Sounds exhausting.
it sounds exhausting, exactly.
And just tell me about Michael Wallace there. But there's no racehorse to riding horse side saddle class, is there?
No, so he
Not
would have
yet.
to go in, not yet. He would have to go in with the big boys. So he's in with the mixed class. But saying that, like, a traditional side saddle horse is a lady's horse, and a lady's horse would go back to be typically being 3/4 thoroughbred, to, if not full thoroughbred, again, back in the day. So we're kind of going back, we're emulating kind of back to history. So Stephanie looks beautiful on him. Her apron, you can see her beautiful habit, her apron. So her apron would cover half her legs and just have a couple of inches at the bottom. Their tack is supposed to be gleaming. It's a real showcase.
I mean, he's stunning.
A horse, you have to have them schooled so well, and it's an absolute credit to Stephanie, to where she has him in her level of training, that she can ride him side saddle like that. He's going straight, he's responsive to her, and she rides him beautifully.
I'm just going to ask Steph a few questions. So, how come you decided to go down the side saddle route?
Well, to be honest, Caoimhe, I didn't think we'd enough on our CV, so I thought we'd add a few more things to it. I did it a few years ago on a coloured horse I had, but he wasn't a show horse at all. I just happened to get the saddle for free, so I said I'd give it a go, and then I thought when I had this guy, I was like, you know, maybe I'll give it a go as well. And I think I regret my decision because it's very painful, and I'm sweating a lot. Yeah, we might go to Dublin again. I haven't really decided yet. I really want to event him because he's a really good pop in him, a good jump. So the events have just been cancelled lately because of the ground, unfortunately. But sure, we're all just willing the rain to stop, I think, at this stage. But we'll do a few shows of county shows in the summer and see how we go, see what we can fit in.
And Steph, you know, you work here, you see horses every day. How does Michael Wallace compare to some of the horses that you've had before? What makes him different? Because he's absolutely beautiful.
He's a really special horse. He's very easy to do anything with. He has his moments. He was having a bit of a temper tantrum there a while ago, so we took a time out for that. But like, he's just great. You know, anything I've asked him to do over the last couple of years I've had him, he's just done very easy, and it's just amazing.
Sorry, one more question. I just thought that was really interesting. You recognised that he just wasn't happy. You took him out. Just tell us a little bit about why you do that. Why you don't push him through when he's not happy, or you know, what is it about his temperament that?
Yeah, well, he's only 6, so he's still learning, and he has a mind of his own. So I'm not going to try and make him stand or anything. But it's probably a bit easier when I've a leg each side of him. I can kind of sit into him a bit better. But if he decides to rear up in this saddle, I'm not brave enough to stay on. So I think I was just going to get off him and give him a minute. But yeah, usually at home he doesn't particularly like flat work. He likes to go out the curragh and go off for hacks, and he's great like that. But sometimes we have to get down to business, and he has to do the job. But you know, some days I'm not in the mood. Like everyone, we all have bad days, and it's better just to get off him for a few minutes and regroup.
Yeah, I've actually seen you on the curragh a few times. A bit jealous. You move considerably faster than I do. But thank you for showing him off so beautifully.
The bad news, Steph, is with side saddle, most people think, oh, you know, when you fall off, you actually come off backwards. It's with the way your feet are strapped in. So if you do fall off, unfortunately it's that way. But hopefully that'll never happen.
I mean, I think a lot of people who are familiar with Irish racing know all about Emma and snowballs. Emma, he's not been easy for you though, has he? But I mean, I just thought he was super in Dublin last year. Tell us a little bit about Dublin for you in that experience.
Yeah, to be fair to him, he was quieter as a racehorse than he is as a show pony. Everton was thrown at him last year within the space of 3 months to get to Dublin, and me, because I've never ridden like this either. So he behaved himself, rode extremely well, and I couldn't have been any prouder of him.
Hi, Joanne. So I have a 5-year-old that I've had for about 6 months now, and we haven't had the easiest 6 months as our start to our journey together. But I'm kind of like tempted to bite the bullet and go out to our first class. And I'm just thinking, what would you say is like the easiest class to maybe do as an intro to get him going, and where to begin with just kind of getting out there, I suppose?
Yeah, I would say get him out anywhere. Where's your local riding school? Is there a local venue near you just to get them out?
I have him in a livery yard, yeah, and we're in Enniskerry, so we have lots near us, but we've been cross-country schooling and that kind of thing, but we haven't done any shows together.
Okay. Well, to be fair to Anne does have a couple of clinics that'll be coming up, and it'll basically go through everything. From what to wear, pretty much kind of what we've gone through today, what to wear, what to expect when you get out there. But the likes of Colossery have a few training shows and things, and they're low-key. You might have 1 and 2 in the classes. You always have a good, friendly judge. A judge is there to be friendly to you, to give advice, and likewise the crew at Troella. Like, don't be afraid, give me a ring. I'll happily talk you through any of it. But getting out, getting there, like the judges, they aren't scary. They'll be willing to give you feedback. But as I say, you won't learn anything sitting at home. So, you know, as I said, I came today, I'm so far off, show ring ready, him being ready, but it's an outing for him, and I'm delighted how he's kind of taking it in. So go, get out, and if you can come away with each day with something, well, that's something. And by the end of the summer, a lot of something will add up to one big thing. So see the progress, and I can't wait to see, like, from me, this guy progress throughout the summer. So for you, go home, get a plan, get your diary out, see where you can go. The evenings are getting brighter. Go up to the sports campus, trot them around, bring a friend with you, and get out. As I said, the guys at the end of the phone, we're all here at the end of the phone, and you know, it's a great community to be involved in. Everyone's door is open, and everyone's there to help you.
Okay, I have a couple more questions. I'm watching you, Kat. I'm coming. First, Emma Kate. Sorry now for repeating, but I missed a bit at the start. How long have you had Plutar now? And tell me a little bit about your journey so far, because he's riding beautifully. Well, what seems to me anyway.
Thank you. So I started riding Plutar back in July. I work for Henry doing flat work on the race horses. So I started to kind of build a relationship with him back then. And when he retired from racing, he had a little break, and then he came to me about 5 weeks ago. So he's actually been quite straightforward. That he was, okay, we lunged him for maybe the first week, just getting him back into the swing of things. But he has got a good temperament, good brain, and yeah, he likes being back in work and having a job again. So I mostly do dressage, so he will come along when we're bringing my other horses. He'll come off and do some dressage too. And for me, a little bit of fun to do some showing, because yeah, it would be nice to get him out and about. And yeah, we'll see what he's happy with. If it's, you know, maybe next year Dublin, or this year, we'll wait and see what he's happy with, and yeah, we'll see where the journey takes us. Yeah, so when I had him started back into work, I had been sending his owners some videos, and they're happy to see that he's back in work and doing something that he likes, and you know, he's happy to work. He's only 10, and you know, he's fit and healthy, and it's nice for him to have a job again. No problem, it's great for him to have experience.
Well, he doesn't look like he needs it. He's pretty chill. Kat, we have really enjoyed being part of your retraining journey and part of the Troella showing pathway. Will you tell us a little bit about how, like, I remember you last year driving to the north to make sure you got your qualifier. Can you tell us a little bit about Feel My Pulse and how this journey has brought you both on as, I don't want to say a couple, a combination?
Yeah, no, I was lucky. I rode this lad a good bit in training too. So when the opportunity came, I jumped at it. He's very versatile. I've hunted him all season. He's show jumped. He's done showing. It's just great. He is the best temperament. Like, this is him all day long. He hacks out in the evenings on busy roads, and this is only his 4th or 5th time in a double bridle. So he takes it all in his skin. So yeah, no, I'm blessed that he is a gent.
So likewise, if anyone has any questions on the showing end of things, like don't be afraid to get out. There is a section on the Throw Ella website. I'm only a phone call away, Anna's only a phone call away. So don't be afraid if you have any questions or what to wear or what not to wear, give us a shout. Boy. Hey, good lad. Boy.
So, sorry, I keep thinking as I'm watching. You know, sometimes, you know, you're a little bit babyish. It takes a stride or two to get into your canter. How forgiving are judges of that in the racehorse class? Or are they a little bit kinder to the racehorses than they are to maybe the straight up showing?
If you're in a thoroughbred class, in a novice class, 100%, they don't mind that because it's all part of the retraining process. I actually get into this light seat with the thoroughbreds just to allow them to cover it. And then I would sit into them on the long side and start to train them about getting the weight on their back, sitting into them. If he gets unbalanced, I get into the light seat and allow him to stretch forward again. Good lad. And now he's not. Good away.
Well, I am very impressed. As no one took off speeding there either. Very controlled, very balanced, very collected. So thank you everyone very much. Thanks everyone for coming along to watch, and thank you to all of our fabulous participants. We really appreciate the effort that you make to come here today. So check out our Insta, our Facebook, our Twitter, and the website. Thanks very much.